people. Okay, so what I'm about to say does not negate or serve as any medical advice. If you're having any emergency, if you don't feel well, for whatever, please consult a licensed physician or go to the emergency room. So that being aside, I have to say that disclaimer. This is not medical advice. However, this is for those who are ready to receive it. Elevation sickness. It's like, I honestly thought when I first heard it that it was complete nonsense. I was just, not complete nonsense, but I was just like, what is that? And I'm not talking about elevation sickness as in you're climbing a mountain and you get sick and you're on a mountain. No, I mean you're in your house and then all of a sudden weird stuff, you start getting like really sick out of nowhere. You're not feeling well and all that other stuff. It usually comes after some type of either spiritual awakening, some type of activation that you never activated before. And when I say activation, I'm talking more along the lines of you elevated something in your life. You elevated something in your life and you switched up a program or something. You switched up a way of thinking. You started to heal. Anything that elevates, elevation sickness, elevates your consciousness. Because what happened, I swear to God, I never thought I would be this girl. But anyway, we're here. So what happens is your spirit and spirit, soul, whatever's inside the spacesuit goes up a level. And honestly, the faster the level you go up, the worse the sickness is going to be. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying not to elevate. I'm not saying not to seek knowledge, but I know I'm a fast learner. So for me, and I process information very fast. So for me and my family, I remember 1 month it was like, we just kept hopscotching and not hopscotching, but we kept not passing it off, but we kept oh my God, I'm not feeling well. And then we would use the code to ask our team, is this what is this? What's going on? And they're like, it's elevation sickness. You stopped doing this and started doing this. You made a shift in your energy from doing this to this. So your body has to catch up with what your spirit is doing. But remember, like I tell you all the time, my foundation is Catholicism and Christianity. So it's kind of like when they're like, oh, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about you're going to go from here to here. So your spirit goes from here to here. No problem. It's like a blink. It's like a blink of an eye. It's like, boop, and they're there, right? Your body, on the other hand, has to catch up to the spirit. So what happens is it has to elevate up. And when it elevates up, there are certain things, unfortunately for us humans, there are certain things that cannot go into a different level or a different space, right? So what happens is it's called the purge. That's what I call it because I went through it. And it's called the purge. Once again, this is not medical advice. But what happened for me was, and I watched it happen to my children, not all at the same time, which was funny because it happened at different stages and different times. You just, everything gets flushed out. It either comes up or out. Sometimes, unfortunately, for some, it's up and out. You understand? At the same time. So that's where it can get very dangerous because you can get dehydrated. You can, pass out because you're not eating because you can't keep anything down. Just like a baby. When a baby's throwing up and doing all that stuff, you got to make sure you keep it hydrated. You got to make sure that if it gets too excessive, that you take your behind to the emergency room, and you also take, especially if you're prone to sickness or your body's already compromised, it's always it's always a great idea to just check to see if they find any like viruses or bacteria or anything, because they have the medical equipment to test for that. You don't. So you going there and being like, okay, test this because something's not right, and they're like, we can't. It's I'm talking to the people who went to the doctor, right? And they did not find anything. They're like, we don't know what's going on with you. We can't find it. It's elevation sickness. You understand? If the doctors is like, we can't find it, here's some antibiotics, it's elevation sickness. Because what happens is your body has to catch up with the spirit shooting up. And like I said, the faster you shoot up, the more you tend to get the elevation sickness. But the good news is, at least the one with the purging part, I probably experienced it twice, and it was because the first time was after I got my divorce. No, I'm lying. The first time was after my ex left my house. Once he left the house, it was weird because it seemed like all of us just started not throwing up. Thank God, because I can't stand that. That's probably why my team knows. But we started to purge out. Everything started to purge out, and everything just started to like, and it was crazy. So it's like, and thank God it didn't happen all at the same time. So, but it happened at different stages and different realization, and it was always after we had a real good heart to heart about, how we were feeling, where we were, checking in with each other, and we were like moving. And once we leveled to that plateau, I guess the body's like, I don't need this shit anymore. Literally, I don't need this anymore. And it just, it comes out. It like, I remember telling a friend of mine, I did not realize I had so much water in my body. It was absolutely insane. And after it was done, for the first couple of days, you do get you're exhausted. You're going to sleep for the most part through this process. The only problem is you got to be careful, because you can't because if you do, it's going to be all of your sheets, and then you got to keep a bucket by your bed and make sure that you're okay with that. So it's just like, it's pretty much like, it's what they would call it would be a stomach virus, but they can't find the virus. Does that make sense? They'd be like, oh, you have a stomach virus, but then when they test it for the virus or any virus, they can't find anything. So that's when you're like, okay, alrighty, so let me just do, it's just something that you have to go through. It's not something that you can skip. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And those who haven't experienced it yet, the more you elevate, you're going to get to it at some point. Especially if you were given a lot of medication, or if you had some different type of thing that was done and put in your body is going to cleanse itself. Your body is designed to heal itself. So it's going to cleanse itself. And in doing so, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. It's not fun. If you speak to someone who's already gone through it, the first thing they're going to do is, when you describe to them what is happening to you and the fact that the doctors couldn't find or help you or do anything, they're going to start laughing, because they're going to know exactly what it is. What I did, like I tell you, I don't tell you guys what to do, but what I did was, I had, for me, what worked for me and my family was Gatorade, because they're like, you got to stay hydrated. I couldn't keep anything down, or I should say in, except Gatorade. And then after I drank it, I started to feel better. Gatorade, and then once it starts to level off, we started to drink Sprite or Pepsi. I don't know what's with these two. You got to choose, because the first time it happened, like I said, it happened after he left the house and everybody, whatever. And then it happened like probably a couple of months later, it happened again. The first time we used Pepsi, the second time we used Sprite. I don't know why. It just ended up that way. I'm not endorsing either one because I don't drink it on a regular basis. I actually drink it for different reasons. But I'm always doing something weird. But yeah, so when it happened, we had Gatorade. The first time it happened, we had Pepsi, Gatorade, and Pepto Bismol. Like I said, this is not medical advice. This is what I did. We had those three things. We did not eat because if you try to eat anything while that's happening to you, it's going to cramp up your stomach. That's what, like, the best thing you can do if you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, I can't do this, I can't do this, and you can keep stuff down, drink soup broth. Not soup, soup broth. Just drink. Don't try to bind your stomach. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna cut, because I know my fellow petamines, they're like, oh, well, just give them bananas and give them. No, you're making it worse. You're making it worse by feeding it. Don't feed it. I'm not saying starve yourself. I'm saying do what you know is best. But I know from experience that you should not eat because it made it worse and it prolonged it. So what I did was, what I really had no choice to do was to go to sleep. Sleep is going to be the best thing that you can do, especially after the purging stops, because your body has to reset, and the body can only reset when it's asleep. It can't reset while you're awake. Like how I'm moving and I'm talking and I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. That's not going to work if your body is not okay. You know what I'm saying? If my body was not okay and I was going through that, I wouldn't be on this. I would be laying down and I would be sleeping because I need my body to heal itself. And the body needs time and the right environment to heal itself. So thinking, is there anything I forgot? I think that's it. If you have any questions, like I said, one more time, this is not to replace any type of medical advice, medical procedures. This is not medical advice. This is not even me telling you what to do, because I don't tell you what to do. I tell you what I did. So that's my take on elevation sickness and what you should do to get through it. All right, stay up, stay blessed. Deuces, and I'm out.